I just want to give you a quick demo of where OBDIIC&C and IMAC&C may go in the future. I've had this development board for a couple of weeks and I've been on a very steep learning curve, just fiddling around with it. It's a 7-inch 800 by 480 pixel touch sensitive colour screen with a computer on the back. It's a PIC based system using a version of BASIC as the programming language. It has GUI, controls, sliders, buttons, etc, etc. This is a very hacked demonstration of the sort of colour display that you could get with touch sensitive, some very basic touch sensitive controls. So for instance, if I touch some of these controls, you can see it moves onto the other screens. I haven't got it wedged on anything at all, so I'll go back to the full details. So you get the gist of it. So basically, it's a 7-inch display, so it needs a nice 3D printed box, but it's a very nice colour, very nice visually, looks very aesthetically pleasing. And I'll just show you the back of it. So on the back we have a PIC 32. It's quite a lot of RAM. It's got a VGA output, USB inputs, lots of beeper, sound outputs, got a SD card slot, USB port, PS2 keyboard. So it's got a lot of functionality built on there. So what I'm proposing possibly is another board on the back there, just for the interface required into the car, so a sort of another level of hardware. They've got some SIL pin sockets at the back there with all the I/O brought out to it, so all you would need to do is just make a board to fit. So you'd have a 3-board sandwich in effect, the display, the computer board, and then another board behind that with the I/O, which would interface with the car. That would condition the signals. Now I would probably just make it so that it plugs into the OBD port, so the actual board required to interface may actually be very, very small. It may only just be you know, the K and H line interface, and just plug straight into the OBD port. So you would just mount this somewhere where you could obviously touch it. And there would obviously be sliders for IMA boost or IMA control or resist or regen, or all the other myriad of things that we've been doing over the years with IMA control and data. And obviously that you saw there that I had, as you can see, it responds very quickly. 16 parameters on the display there. Obviously there's nothing happening in the background at the minute. It's just purely a demonstration of the display itself. So there's potential there. Obviously I'm on a steep learning curve, getting the manuals all printed out so I can have a look at the language. It's called the MicroMite Extreme 144. It's a 144 pin PIC, and it's got loads of inputs and outputs, more than enough for our needs. Obviously, especially if I'm just going to use it to talk to the OBD port. So this would probably operate in conjunction with a modified MCM, a bit like the current IMAC and PNP, but obviously everything would be much slicker, be much nicer to interact with. The cost of this, the screen and the computer, is about £100. Then obviously the board to go on the back wouldn't be that expensive. Then obviously the rest of the cost would come in the software. But there we are. So that's a possibility for potential for development later on. So you can see it responds very well to the touching of the screen. So that's where possibly it may go in the future. I'll keep you updated.